Hey, do you want to know this one scientific way to shrink your stomach and waistline and even get six-pack abs like this? Now, one way to getting my waist to such a small size is from practicing certain vacuum ab exercises, which I'll get to those a little bit later. But the real scientific way to shrinking your stomach and your waistline is actually through intermittent fasting. You see, when you fast properly, your stomach organ literally shrinks. This is called distensibility, and it's a very powerful thing. In a study published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, it was found that restricting food intake demonstrated a reduction in gastric capacity. And with a smaller stomach, you'll feel less hungry. Your belly will look less bloated, and best of all, your waistline will look and actually be inches smaller. Now, don't go starving yourself for hours and hours thinking that this is how fasting works. Because if you fast incorrectly and you ignore the scientific guidelines, you can actually damage your body's hormones and cause yourself to store more fat. But don't worry, I actually posted another video online that breaks down the scientific process of intermittent fasting and how you can lose fat all over your body, not just on top of your stomach. So click the link below in the left corner or head to my website at SixPackAbs.com. Most guys think fasting is crazy just because they think it's just starving yourself, which is honestly far from the truth. When in fact, you'll get to eat all the foods that you love, but just in a specified fat-burning eating time zone. In fact, the time you actually get to eat are exactly the times we love to eat, from after work all the way up until midnight or sometimes even later. With the exception to one unique meal that I use to break the fast, which amplifies fat burning even further. You see, when you sleep, your body burns off all the food that you've eaten. It usually takes about 4 hours. And at that point, once your food sources are depleted, your body then begins burning the stored belly fat that's trapped in your body. This is how the fat burning process truly works. So what fasting does is rearrange the time that we begin eating, meaning no more having to prepare and eat those so-called healthy meals and snacks every few hours. We move those down to a later time in the day called your eating window. That way, you're effectively burning off the stubborn body fat as fast as possible. Now, on top of holding on to excess body fat, did you know that the average man is holding on to anywhere from 15 to 20 pounds of feces in their digestive tract? With 15 to 20 pounds of feces trapped in your intestinal tract, it makes it that much more difficult to get in shape, to access your belly fat and get rid of it, and ultimately achieve six-pack abs. But there is hope. You see, fasting has been proven to cleanse the body and remove a lot of this excess feces to get rid of stubborn belly fat once and for all. And with your stomach shrunk down and your body getting rid of that literal crap holding you back, getting rid of belly fat and showing off your six-pack abs becomes quite a breeze. Now, don't just simply go starving yourself silly or fasting for days right out the gate, because that will do a lot more harm and potentially cause even more weight gain. That's why in my other video, I show you the proper time zone that you should be fasting. So instead of wasting your time with research, I did it all for you in that video. Just hit that link in the bottom left or enter in SixPackAbs.com. You see, I wasn't always in great shape. At one point, I was obese and 100 pounds overweight. Honestly, if I had stuck with what a lot of the usual fitness industry tactics of eating every couple of hours have said, I would probably still be the same way. All that cardio can trigger your cortisol levels to be elevated, but honestly, your body gets used to doing that much cardio and then it continues to require it for maintenance. Being unhealthy and overweight was taking a toll on a lot of things in my life. I had a lot going on while trying to be a good husband, keep my career successful, and trying to juggle friendships at the same time. So I said enough was enough. Since I worked in the healthcare industry anyway, I leaned on a lot of the science that I had heard bits and pieces of, proven methods and strategies that are actually backed by science versus just hearsay. I heard about inflammation, I heard about ketosis, and the most interesting one was intermittent fasting. This was the greatest thing to ever happen to me. I went from being super overweight to being in the best shape of my life. So remember those vacuum ab exercises I mentioned earlier? Let me show you how to do those. So when it comes down to doing a vacuum ab, now, that takes a lot of practice. Most people can't just naturally go and do that. You see, it takes a lot of training to be able to condition yourself to suck in and not just use your rectus abdominis, but use your transverse abdominis to actually pull your waist in. Now, we can't look like that all the time, otherwise you wouldn't breathe, and well, then you'd die, and that's not very healthy. So instead, losing the excess belly fat once and for all, defining your six-pack, and easily maintaining that physique without constant dieting or training would be so much easier, right? Well, that's where an intermittent fasting regimen comes in. You can stop compromising on the foods you like to eat, you can stop killing yourself in the gym all week, you can start making overeating a thing of the past, and quit carrying around the 15 to 20 pounds of crap that you have stored up in your intestines. Once I discovered that I needed to march to the beat of a different drum when it came to my meal timing and my workouts, I was able to quickly change the way that I looked and the way that I felt. Because I didn't just do this for myself. I did this for the woman that I love, who's now my wife, and the mother of our beautiful baby boy. In fact, I got in such great shape, I was actually approached by some of my favorite fitness magazines and some of my favorite shows to star in their shows and be on the covers of those magazines, which led me to you here today, to show you what I did to accomplish all of my fitness goals and how you can honestly do the same. And if I can do it, I know that you can. And quite honestly, even surpass what I was able to do. So no need to wait to get started. Just go to ScienceBasedSixPack.com and I'll see you there.